It's now the middle of the wet season, and much has gone on in the past several weeks. For Orion and Artemis, they are about to have some new arrivals in their family. Artemis is finishing up a nest mound where the eggs will be safe from most environmental hazards. Soon, she'll be ready to lay her clutch in the mound. Artemis's maternal instincts make her especially aggressive towards anything that approaches the nest, even Orion. Not all herbivores here are intimidated by theropods like Tyrannosaurus rex. Some, in fact, inspire fear into the king of the dinosaurs, like this Ankylosaurus. This 7-ton herbivore is the juggernaut of the Cretaceous, and is the largest of the thyreophorans. He is also the most well-armored dinosaur known to science. Even its eyelids are armored. The club at the end of its tail is made of particularly large osteoderms, fused at the end of the vertebrae, and is powerful enough to cripple the biggest theropods. Orion doesn't wait to let the Ankylosaurus become hostile, and searches for easier pickings. Not too far away, this trio of adolescent male Pachycephalosaurus practice jousting, an activity that will one day earn them mates. Deriving from the same common ancestor as the ceratopsians, Pachycephalosaurs are known for their thick, dome-shaped skulls, believed to have been used like the skulls of rams to push and shove their opponents into submission. The excitement has attracted unwanted attention. This is Dakotaraptor, a 5.5-meter long dromaeosaur, the biggest of its kind since Utahraptor. Even against a hungry Tyrannosaurus rex like Orion, this female is no pushover. But something scares the Dakotaraptor. And it's not Orion. This is Thanatos, a rogue male Tyrannosaurus. He is 2 years older than Orion, and is a savage fighter, in spite of his handicap. This is a mother Purgatorius, an opossum-like mammal, carrying her litter of 3. With the coming darkness, she must find a safe place to drop off her offspring while she goes out foraging. Ever since their ancestors, the cynodonts, gave way to their evolution, the mammals have continued to thrive, even as the dinosaurs rule the earth. Now in the late Cretaceous, the mammals have remained elusive and mostly nocturnal. But Purgatorius is no ordinary mammal. Although it resembles an opossum, it is in fact a completely different animal entirely. Based on its dentition, which is remarkably similar to that of lemurs, scientists have speculated that Purgatorius was the earliest known primate, and thus was an ancestor to all living monkeys, lemurs, and apes, including ourselves, human beings. In essence, the survival of all mankind now rests on her shoulders. Another mother remains on guard. For the past couple of months, Artemis has fasted in order to stay and protect her offspring. This has made her weak physically, and her troubles are about to get much, much worse. Many of the eggs have perished, too underdeveloped to hatch. An Ankylosaurus has picked up on the scent of the nest. She's not here out of hunger. If she digs out the eggs, she won't hesitate to eliminate them, thereby killing any future threat to her survival. Weeks pass, and for the dinosaurs of South Dakota, life has remained relatively easy, as it has been difficult. As the herds of Triceratops and Edmontosaurus graze alongside Ankylosaurus and Pachycephalosaurus, they remain alert for potential danger. Orion and Artemis watch from afar with their chick. It is a powerful tribute to the extraordinary success of the dinosaurs. If only life were so easy. 20 years pass. A new king has claimed the throne once held by Orion all those years ago. This is his son, the survivor from the day he watched his father die at the hands of Thanatos. He now rules South Dakota. It won't be easy, but with luck, he'll live long enough to raise his own children, as Orion and Artemis did for him. As for his mother, age has finally taken its toll on her. As she lays down for the last time, Artemis leaves this earth as a queen, a fighter, and at last, a successful mother. In nature, there are a few happy endings. In truth, there is a continuum. For all the pain and suffering that animals deal with, there is always a time for renewal, a time to learn from past mistakes, and a time to revel in the wonders of the world. Because, when all is said and done, life will always find a way. Tyrannosaurus rex was the last and the largest of the tyrannosaurs. For another 500,000 years, it continued to rule North America with an iron fist. Alongside it was Triceratops, among the last of the ceratopsians. Edmontosaurus, one of the last hadrosaurs. Dakotaraptor, one of the last dromaeosaurs. Pachycephalosaurus, one of the last Pachycephalosaurs, and Ankylosaurus, one of the last thyreophorans. In their day, this final breed of dinosaurs dominated North America, remaining defiant in the face of global change. They represent the apexes of not just their lineages, but also the dinosaur family as a whole, the ultimate examples of evolution's greatest success stories. The dinosaurs were the dominant group of animals for over 160 million years, a feat that has not been surpassed by any other animal family in the history of life on Earth. And in spite of the changes affecting their planet, it's always possible that the dinosaurs could have endured it and evolved into more incredible forms. But such thoughts can only be created in the imagination. Because on one fateful day, some 66 million years ago, the age of the dinosaur came to a violent and devastating end. There have been many theories about how and why the dinosaurs died out. Some say mammals ate all their eggs. Some say the planet changed too radically for them to adapt. Some even say that aliens came from faraway worlds and systematically destroyed the dinosaurs. But none of these theories are as infamous as one in particular. Around 66 million years ago, a meteorite some 10 to 15 kilometers wide made its way to Earth's orbit. gripped by the planet's gravitational pull, is slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula with a force a billion times more powerful than the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The impact obliterated and incinerated anything and everything in the surrounding Gulf of Mexico, but worse was yet to come. In North America, fires torched vibrant forests and plains, while massive tsunamis plundered the coasts, and violent volcanic eruptions poisoned the sky and blanketed the land in ash and lava. The planet was covered in a sheet of soot and debris, blotting out the sun and causing a global nuclear winter. For years on end, life on Earth would be shrouded in darkness. Photosynthesis would have ground to a halt, and herbivores would have slowly starved. Without the large herbivores to satisfy their appetites, the theropods would have been driven to cannibalize one another, ultimately sending their kind to extinction. Alongside the dinosaurs, the pterosaurs died out, as well as many mammal, bird, fish, and reptile species. Around 75% of all life had died out from the face of the Earth. The greatest losses, however, came from the dinosaurs themselves. Whether or not the meteorite was the only factor at play remains contested, but one thing can be said. Some 66 million years ago, after 160 million years as the planet's dominant group of organisms, this magnificent dynasty of creatures had disappeared forever, never to rule the Earth again. Not since the Permian extinction that helped the dinosaurs become the success stories that they were, had an event like this ever been so devastating and so final. But the Earth recovered, and life, as it always has, remained resilient. Alongside the flowering plants and conifers that were fed upon by herbivorous dinosaurs, a new kind of plant, grass, became dominant. Although grass did appear at the very end of the Cretaceous, it would not be until roughly 40 million years after the dinosaurs went extinct that seeds of this particular plant would blanket the Earth. And the new group of animals, once forced to hide in the shadows of the dinosaurs, have become the dominant group of organisms in the world's ecosystems. The mammals. They diversified into numerous forms just as the dinosaurs once did. From graceful forest dwellers, to powerful burrowers, to elegant mountain climbers. From small tree shrews to massive elephants, to the astonishing blue whale, the largest animal to ever live on the planet. From peaceful herbivores to mighty carnivores. Ranging from graceful swimmers to athletic climbers one group of mammals, the primates, would give rise to a species of ape that walked upright, and the descendants of that ape would eventually become the new masters of the world. Ourselves, the human race. We as a species have only been on the planet for around 1.5 million years, and today we have left our mark on the world. We have built towers that touch the sky, vehicles to leave the planet.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And weapons that can destroy it. But despite our success, we have taken an interest and admiration for the organisms that lived before us, with the dinosaurs as the most popular of them all. It has reached the point where we have considered the possibility of some species surviving the Great Extinction. In the rainforests of Central Africa, legend speaks of a creature called Mokele Mbembe, an animal that seemed very similar to a sauropod dinosaur. Another creature, called Kasai Rex, is also said to have lived in Africa, resembling a tyrannosaur or some other giant theropod dinosaur. But the evidence for such animals is very poor, and it's very likely that these animals don't exist. Indeed, these dinosaurs would require a sustainable population within their environment in order to survive the next 65 million years into the present, which in the cases of these animals has yet to be proven. But even if there are no living dinosaurs around, what's to say we can't bring them back to life? In his commercially and critically successful book, Jurassic Park, the inspiration for the blockbuster movie by Steven Spielberg, Michael Crichton wrote about the cloning of dinosaurs. His idea was to extract dinosaur blood from mosquitoes that were preserved in amber or fossilized resin, and use the DNA to clone dinosaurs. But Jurassic Park is, and will remain, a piece of science fiction, something that even Crichton understood when writing his book. Since the DNA wouldn't be pure, the genetics involved in the cloning process required other species' DNA to fill the gaps, making the dinosaur not 100% pure. And even if it were possible to create a 100% purebred dinosaur, there would be no way for a live dinosaur to survive properly in the world we live in. The habitats of the Earth are simply too different from what a dinosaur would be used to, and keeping it in a zoo would only have crowds upon crowds of people there to swarm to see it behind a protective fence. In the end, we may never see a live dinosaur in our lifetimes, or ever in our species' existence. But there is one family of animals that serves as a reminder that millions of years ago, great reptilian beasts dominated the planet. Relatives of the raptors, they evolved during the Jurassic, lived alongside the dinosaurs until the bitter end, and persevered into the modern era. They live in every corner of the globe, in every habitat, and brave conditions even most mammals cannot survive. They are the birds. Some 10,000 species strong, they rival mammals in abundance and diversity, just as their ancestors did for 160 million years. As for the dinosaurs of this series, they are far from forgotten in the modern era. Groundbreaking discoveries are made every year, each one changing our views and challenging old preconceptions. Even now, it is likely some of the science presented in this series will become overturned in the coming decades. It is what makes the field of paleontology so difficult, and yet so rewarding at the same time. Over 100 years ago, the term dinosaur was coined by Sir Richard Owen, and since then they have left a permanent mark not just in science, but in culture as well. Indeed, the legacy of the dinosaurs is not one of failure or mockery, but of celebration of the most amazing animals to ever live on the planet. Our leaps in knowledge about the dinosaurs has grown substantially since the first fossils were given to Robert Plot in 1676. But there is still much more we have yet to unravel about these animals. For as long as we continue to rule the earth, the world and lives of the dinosaurs will continue to become unleashed.